Hey guys, what's up? It's Tim Lee Michael, and we're doing a continuation on drawing eyes. Now, we just finished up a previous video explaining how to do that, but we only drew eyes forward and to the side, but not even truly explaining something. If I was to draw you a square like this, and then I drew an eye in the same way that we drew the eye in the last video we did, and then I took this square and we put it on its side, this is all we would see. That's not exactly how an eye is drawn. That might not make much sense, but basically consider this a piece of paper. And when we put it on its side, it's just a flat piece of paper on its side. That's not how an eye is built. An eye has a 3D shape to it. So let's take a look at how we can start constructing an eye with the idea of a 3D shape, which really makes a difference and starts to break you out of the mold of what you're used to. So let's start with a circle. And this circle isn't actually a circle, it's a sphere. And a sphere has a shape to it. And to help that, you can shade this shape to look more 3D and give it that effect or whatever, and we can put an eyeball on it for reference. And so this 3D shape, this sphere, not the circle, you need to learn how to build an eye around this. Now this is the eye, or the eyeball, and then the rest of it is what? Skin, cartilage, and bone. So how do we turn this into this so that this is not a flat piece of paper by the time we're done, but is an actual eyeball ready to rock and roll in some world of eyesight? So it's actually pretty simple if you think about it. It's simply laying skin folds over top of the ball. Literally, that's all it is, because your eye opens and closes by the lid, right? So it's a really simple process to think about that. Now, there's something important that I mentioned in the last video, and I showed you guys this little part right here. This is called the tear duct. And the tear duct is always, or most times, except in the world of caricature, is usually lower than the opposite side of the eye. And that's what we explained in the last video. Check that out if you want to see that. In the same way, we want to keep in mind where the tear duct is going to be in this 3D eye, okay? So here's what we do. You can put the tear duct wherever you want, as long as it's on the lower end of the opposite side of the eye, because it's not a part of the eye, it's just touching the eyeball, and that's what causes the whole tear duct system to work the way it does, because it's more connected to, if I'm correct, it's more connected to the eyelid itself and the tear duct from the eyelid. So if we think about it like that, let's go ahead and put my tear duct right here, like I've been scraping right there for the last few moments, and let's go ahead and lay a piece of skin over top this eye. Just kind of thinking about how it rounds over this spherical surface. And then the same thing with the lower lid. Okay? Like that. And then you can build on top of that. You can build, the skin has a depth to it. There's a little bit more than just a piece of paper amount of depth. There's a thicker layer. So you can actually draw that thicker layer here like this. And the same with the top. Now the top is usually covered over by a bunch of eyelashes. So maybe we'll quickly knock in a couple eyelashes here. And then the bottom lid, usually the eyelashes stick off the front of that lower lid that shows kind of like that. And that's how we start to create the form of the eyeball, of the eye skin over the eyeball. Now, the eyeball plays an important key role in the lid as well, because the lid lays over top that same crease, kind of like this. Same as bags underneath the eyes, or how far the eye sticks out. Well, we have just 30 seconds left. Let me go ahead and do the same thing over here. So we think about the eyelid, and it doesn't go all the way back to the back of the eye. Just, it sits on top and folds over top, kind of like this. And then the skin layer for the bag of the eye is here, and the skin for the crease goes up above it like that, and then that continues on to other areas like the eyebrow and things like that. And we'll talk about that more in future tutorials. My name is Tim Lee Michael, and we will see you next time right here on good old Draw Too Much. I gotta learn how to write my name. There we go. And don't forget, you can also check out my Patreon page and oh so much more right here on my favorite page, Draw Too Much and Tim Lee Michael.